The city of Seoul was always moving. Bright lights bounced off tall buildings made of glass and metal. Cars honked, people selling things called out, and the sounds filled the air. The sidewalks were packed with people, all going somewhere in a hurry. It was a city that never rested, a sea of people always on the go. But even with all the excitement, there was a sense of calm, a beat you could feel underneath it all. Old temples stood quietly, their beautiful roofs a big difference from the modern buildings around them. In the middle of this busy city stood a young woman. She was like a quiet place in all the noise. Everything she did was graceful, the way she stood, the way she moved. Even walking through the crowded streets seemed easy for her, like a silent dance with the city around her. She held herself with a quiet confidence, her head high, her eyes looking straight ahead. She was a beautiful sight, like a delicate flower growing among the concrete and metal. Her skin was perfect and smooth, almost glowing. It was the kind of skin that came from taking good care of it, secrets passed down from grandmothers to mothers to daughters. Her face was delicate and pretty, with high cheekbones that showed her Asian heritage. But it was her eyes that really caught your attention. Shaped like almonds and framed by long dark eyelashes, they held a depth that was both attractive and mysterious. Her eyes were like windows to her soul, showing a wisdom you wouldn't expect in someone so young. Sometimes her gaze was full of innocence, like a curious child. Other times, her eyes seemed to have a quiet power in them, a strength that said she could handle anything. Her hair, as black as night and smooth as silk, flowed down her back like a shimmering waterfall. It was a beautiful crown, a symbol of her heritage and her femininity. It was like a tapestry woven from the stories of her ancestors, a connection she could touch to the rich history of her people.
Jiwoo had a quiet grace, a gentle beauty that made you want to look at her. Her dark, shiny hair was often styled up, held with pretty jade pins. Her dark eyes were full of stories, old and new. They crinkled at the corners when she smiled, a smile as warm as the first flower of spring. Jiwoo moved gracefully like a dancer. Every step showed her history, every move full of meaning. The market was busy with people talking and laughing. The smells of kimchi and spices filled the air. Jiwoo walked through the market easily, enjoying all the colors, smells, and sounds. She stopped at a stall full of colorful fabrics, touching the beautiful embroidery on a silk hanbok. The seller, a nice woman with a friendly smile, talked with her, mixing Korean and English. Jiwoo's laugh, light and happy, mixed with the sounds of the market. She was happy even with simple things. Jiwoo didn't talk a lot or want attention. Her strength was quiet in how she stood tall and graceful. She listened more than she talked, her eyes showing kindness and understanding. When she did speak, her words were thoughtful, her voice soft but strong. She made everyone around her feel important. It was this quiet strength, this confidence in herself that made Jiwoo so